You could believe that eating a handful of nuts every day is good for your health. However, what if I told you that one of those nuts might be raising your blood sugar levels or subtly harming your liver overnight? Despite their best efforts, many elderly people in the US and India are suffering from this habit, which is affecting their memory, heart, and sleep. As a physician, I have encountered senior patients who thought they were eating healthily only to develop severe nutrient overloads or drug conflicts related to high cholesterol, all from a nut of the wrong kind. I'm going to show you 4 nuts today that are really effective at protecting your heart, bones, and brain, as well as 4 others that could be working against you without you realizing it, especially if you're over 60. Starting today, this could alter your snacking habits and how you age. Before we get started, could you please let me know where you are seeing this from and what time it is? It really means to me, so please share in the comments section below. Consider subscribing to this channel if you want more straightforward, life-saving health advice tailored to elders like you. What follows is something you won't want to miss. Our bodies start to communicate more subtly after the age of 60, not with loud agony, but with subtle changes. The liver and kidneys, which once toiled hard in the background, now demand kinder treatment, digestion slows down, and nutritional absorption becomes less effective. Previously side effect-free medications may now feel more burdensome. Once energizing foods may now make us bloated, tired, or restless. Elders in many Indian households use nuts as a nutritious snack. And while my friend's hunch is correct, it needs to be refined because, depending on your choices and timing, even something as minor as a handful of nuts can either help or hurt you at this point in your life. Consider the situation involving Mr. Prakash from Lucknow. He started eating cashews every evening with chai because he thought it was an excellent source of protein. He was a retired bank official in his late 60s, but in a matter of weeks, his blood sugar levels started to fluctuate. His knees started to hurt more, and he frequently had trouble sleeping. When he spoke with his doctor, they discovered that the cashew's high oxalate and carbohydrate content was subtly reducing his joint inflammation and diabetes. He started to feel lighter, brighter, and more in control after making the simple decision to start eating soaked almonds in the morning. Nuts are like natural medication, you see. However, not every nut is safe for every senior, just as no doctor would prescribe the same medication to every patient. You can strengthen your bones, protect your heart, and even improve your memory by eating the correct nut at the right time in the right amount. However, the incorrect one, or too much of a good one, can subtly increase inflammation, cause sleep disturbances, or conflict with your prescription. Therefore, it might be important to take a moment to pay attention to your body. If you have been consuming nuts out of habit, or just because someone told you they were beneficial. Your body still wants to help you, but it's requesting a little more care and attention. The good news is that your body will thank you with increased energy, deeper sleep, and calmer mornings once you know which nuts to trust. Why should you consume these 5 kinds of nuts every day? Almonds, the older bone builder, go on. Let's start with the common almond, or badam as we call it, which is a nut that is kept in a glass jar in practically every Indian home. Although it appears little and uncomplicated at first, it contains the strength to support your bones and provide you energy throughout the day. Our bones normally deteriorate around the age of 60, particularly in men who have poor calcium absorption and women who have gone through menopause. 1 ounce of almonds contains over 97 milligrams of calcium, making them a natural defense. It is equivalent to consuming a 1/4 glass of milk. However, calcium is insufficient on its own. How your body uses that calcium is where the magic happens. And magnesium is essential for that. Magnesium and almonds work together to maintain calcium in your bones, rather than in your arteries. Seniors need to maintain this equilibrium, since poor calcium absorption can cause heart blockages and brittle bones. Not to be overlooked are the antioxidants in almonds, particularly the flavonoids and vitamin E present in their brown skin. These combat oxidative stress, which is the process by which toxic chemicals erode the outer layer of your cell and even your memory. Almonds serve as a natural protection for older persons who are experiencing memory loss or exhaustion, promoting clear thinking, relaxing nerves, and enhancing skin health. Savita Maji from Pune, one of my patients, told me how she used to feel exhausted by the afternoon and how a morning walk would hurt her legs. She reported that her joints felt lighter and that she was able to go to the temple once more after substituting 6 soaking almonds for her nightly biscuit each morning. Though they may seem insignificant, these everyday decisions can occasionally have the greatest impact. How should it be consumed? Overnight, soak 6 to 8 almonds. In the morning, chew slowly and remove the skin if digestion is weak. It's your medicine, a natural gift, not a snack. The brain's best friend, according to walnuts. The walnut, also known as akhroot, is a nut that resembles a tiny brain and, appropriately, provides the strongest support for brain health. Because of its pungent flavor, many people overlook this wrinkled tiny nut, but it contains omega-3 ALA, a plant-based fatty acid that your brain genuinely adores. Your brain cells require help after 60 neurons in order to remain flexible, interact, and remain clear. You can get 2.5 grams of this brain-nourishing fat from 1 ounce of walnuts, which can aid with mood, memory, and reflexes. Seniors who consumed 2 to 3 walnuts daily demonstrated superior mental acuity compared to those who did not, according to a study from a reputable medical college in Mumbai. This little nut can have unexpected advantages for those who have trouble remembering names, keeping track of time, or feeling dreary in the morning. The polyphenols and vitamin E that walnuts contain are antioxidants that can penetrate the blood-brain barrier, which further enhances their uniqueness. Your brain's protective wall prevents many nutrients from easily penetrating it. These substances reduce inflammation in the brain, which is one of the hidden causes of memory disorders like Alzheimer's. The hormone that helps control your sleep-wake cycle, melatonin, is another undiscovered benefit of walnuts. Many elderly people lament that they can't get a good night's sleep or wake up at 2 in the morning. Without the use of sedatives or pills, walnuts can help promote natural sleep. Allow me to tell you about Uncle Ramesh, a 71-year-old Nagpur resident. Even after taking his blood pressure medicine, he used to toss and turn in bed every night. We did just that by adding 2 walnuts to his early evening snack. He claimed that after 10 days, he was sleeping soundly from 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. No magic was involved. With the correct information, nature was served. How to consume no more than 2 or 3 walnut halves in the early evening. Additionally, chew thoroughly to ensure your body gets the full benefit. 3. Pistachios are a tiny nut with a large heart. Pistachios, also known as pista, are the nut that loves your heart if walnuts are for the brain and almonds are for the bones. Potassium, an important mineral that helps lessen the effects of sodium in your blood, is abundant in these green beauties. This sodium-potassium balance is crucial for high blood pressure sufferers to prevent heart attacks, strokes, and renal strain. An ounce of pistachios contains about 285 milligrams of potassium, which acts as a silent artery protector. Additionally, because of their low glycemic index, pistachios don't raise blood sugar levels, and that's a big plus for older adults with type 2 diabetes or borderline diabetes. Pistachios' protein, fat, and fiber help slow down the absorption of carbohydrates when consumed with meals, avoiding unexpected spikes or drops in blood sugar levels. Better long-term control, less mood fluctuations, and more energy are the results of this. However, this tiny green nut also contains 2 antioxidants that help maintain the health of your eyes: lutein and zeaxanthin. They shield the macula, the area of the eye that provides keen, detailed vision, which is particularly helpful for tasks like reading, stitching, and facial recognition. A common cause of vision loss in the elderly is age-related macular degeneration, which can be prevented by eating pistachios on a regular basis. When Rekha Ji from Jaipur experienced foggy vision, her eye doctor suggested them. She claimed that her nighttime headaches and eyes felt less strained after included 10 pistachios in her mid-morning snack. How to consume 10-12 plain pistachios per day with breakfast or in the middle of the morning. Steer clear of roasted or salted ones. Too much sodium negates the heart-healthy effect. A forceful warning and a one-nut wonder. Let's now discuss the Brazil nut, a nut that is both potent and hazardous if handled improperly. One of these nuts contains more selenium than any other food on the planet. However, you might not find it in every kitchen. Your body needs the trace mineral selenium for thyroid function, immunity, and cognitive defense. It facilitates the conversion of thyroid hormone T4 into T3, which controls brain acuity and energy metabolism. A slow thyroid can lead to cognitive problems, weight gain, melancholy, and exhaustion in older men and women who have gone through menopause. Without taking medication, one Brazil nut per day can help balance this. Portion management is crucial. Selenium in excess is harmful. Hair loss, brittle nails, and even nerve damage can result from consuming 3 or 4 Brazil nuts daily. You see, this nut is not so much a snack as it is a natural nutrition. Allow me to introduce you to Lakshmi Maji, who is from Coimbatore. After reading an internet blog, she started taking 2 Brazil nuts daily. She experienced nausea and anxiety in a matter of weeks. Tests conducted by her physician revealed selenium poisoning. Her mood calmed and she regained her vigor after cutting back to just 1 nut per day. How to consume no more than 1 Brazil nut each day. Take it in the morning, and if you are taking any cholesterol or thyroid medications, always check with your doctor. 5. How to consume nuts sensibly and safely. After discussing 4 potent nuts, let's discuss how to include them into your regular routine. Elderly people frequently eat from the packet without understanding how simple it is to overeat. Instead, use a single serving bowl, such as a tiny steel or ceramic bowl. This makes the act more deliberate and helps you manage portions and prevent overeating. Nuts should never be consumed with sweets, salty snacks, or other heavy meals. Your body will better digest and absorb the nutrients if you eat them individually. Additionally, if at all feasible, soak almonds overnight, particularly if you have weak digestion or gastric acidity. Brazil nuts and walnuts are examples of high-fat nuts that should be kept in the refrigerator since heat causes them to deteriorate more quickly. In addition to losing their health benefits, rancid fats can lead to inflammation, which is something you should definitely avoid as you get older. Finally, choose for dry roasted or raw nuts, devoid of flavorings, oil, or salt. Allow the nut to express itself in its most authentic, potent, and healing form. 5 seed types to avoid and why. 1. The ordinary nut with a silent danger. Peanuts are considered a harmless snack in practically every Indian home. Whether they are roasted on the stove, seasoned with salt, or combined with jaggery. They're inexpensive filling and bring back memories of winters as children, train rides, or just the happiness of chai time. However, beyond age 60, when the body's detoxification process slows down, peanuts may unintentionally become more harmful than beneficial. Technically speaking, peanuts are not considered nuts. Since they are legumes that grow underground, aflatoxins can easily contaminate them. Particularly in hot, humid climates like India, some molds create poisons called aflatoxins. These substances can damage the liver, particularly in elderly people. Even modest levels of exposure over time can harm liver cells, impair immunity, and occasionally raise the risk of cancer. The liver is already under stress in older adults who have a history of fatty liver hepatitis or who use medicine on a regular basis. Peanuts, frequently in silence, add another load. Unfortunately, the majority of people never associate their daily peanut consumption with weariness, bloating, or digestive issues. Omega-6 fatty acids are an additional problem. Excess omega-6 relative to omega-3 causes inflammation in the body. While it is not dangerous in and of itself, elderly people who have heart illness, arthritis, or memory problems should use caution. Consuming peanuts on a regular basis may subtly exacerbate these symptoms. Consider 68-year-old Uncle Mahadev of Indore, who loved groundnut chickpeas every winter evening. He frequently felt lethargic, and his joint aches worsened. He didn't feel lighter or more energetic until he switched to soaked almonds and cut back on peanuts to once a week. Advice: while peanuts are not prohibited, they should be enjoyed seldom rather than every day. It is safer to eat them occasionally and to always roast them, rather than eat them raw if you have a sensitive liver or use several medications. 2. The creamy nut that isn't always amiable is cashews. During Diwali, cashews, also known as kaju, are frequently given as gifts, added to rich curries, and offered in sweets as a symbol of love. Although they are tasty and reassuring, eating them frequently or in big quantities may actually be more harmful to seniors than beneficial. The first issue with cashews is that they contain a lot more carbohydrates than most other nuts. 1 ounce contains only 1 gram of fiber and almost 9 grams of carbohydrates. This indicates that it can rapidly increase blood sugar, particularly when salted or roasted. This can be a major problem for older persons with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, resulting in increased insulin resistance, energy crashes, and sugar increases. Every evening, Mrs. Neelam, a 70-year-old Jaipur teacher, enjoyed kaju barfi with her tea. Despite taking medicine, her blood sugar levels continued to fluctuate. Within 3 weeks, her blood sugar level balanced after she stopped eating cashew-based treats and began consuming fruit and pistachios instead. Additionally, cashews contain natural plant components called oxalate, which bind to calcium and might cause kidney stones, particularly in people with weak kidneys or inadequate water. Many elderly people are unaware that their renal function has declined. Including foods high in oxalate can subtly cause them to experience bloating or stone development. Cashews' creamy texture makes them enticing, particularly when used to produce gravies or desserts. However, over time, what calms the tongue may put stress on the kidneys and blood sugar. If you like cashews, save them for special events rather than as a regular snack. Do not combine them with fried appetizers or high-carbohydrate sweets. Additionally, it's advised to avoid them completely if you have kidney issues or diabetes, the fancy nut that increases pressure and weight. Macadamia nuts are frequently marketed as high-end, spherical, shiny, and flavorful dry fruits. They are frequently found in upscale shops and gift boxes that are imported. The reality that most elders need to hear is hidden behind their buttery sweetness. They provide virtually little in the way of benefits and are highly high in calories. Over 200 calories can be found in just 10 to 12 macadamia nuts, with fat accounting for the majority of the calories and protein and fiber for the least amount. This indicates that they can swiftly and silently put on extra weight, even though they don't keep you feeling full for very long. This is an important issue for seniors who are attempting to control their mobility or heart health cholesterol. Additionally, macadamias contain a lot of saturated fat, roughly 3 to 4 grams per ounce, which, if consumed frequently, can elevate LDL cholesterol. This is like trudging uphill with an additional burden on your back for people who are already taking statins or heart drugs. After his son got them from Dubai, Uncle Ravi, a retired Chennai shopkeeper, started consuming 6 to 8 macadamia nuts every day. Within 3 months, he felt lethargic, his waist grew, and his lipid profile deteriorated. His numbers improved only when he stopped eating them and went back to eating almonds and walnuts. The gallbladder is another problem that is frequently disregarded. Macadamias may cause discomfort, bloating, or even severe stomach pain in elderly people with gallstones or poor fat digestion. It is advisable to think of macadamias as occasional treats rather than everyday fuel. Eat only 3 to 4 of them if you do, and always balance them with foods high in fiber. Steer clear if you have gallbladder, cholesterol, or weight problems. Pine nuts are tiny, pricey, and not always secure. Tiny, creamy seeds called pine nuts or chilgoza are frequently used in fine dining or winter sweets. For seniors, they may appear innocuous and elegant, but they can also bring with them a number of special issues that are frequently ignored. Pine mouth syndrome, a bitter metallic taste that appears in the mouth 1 to 3 days after consuming pine nuts, is one known problem. Days or even weeks may pass during which time this taste ruins appetite, causes nausea, and reduces nutrient intake. This might be a major worry for elderly people who already have issues with reduced appetite or accidental weight loss. The possible interaction with drugs is even more worrisome. When consumed frequently, certain chemicals in pine nuts may interact with blood pressure medications, antidepressants, or medications that decrease cholesterol. For people taking several drugs, these interactions pose a hidden concern because they are not always reported. There's a bodily risk as well. Pine nuts are tiny, slick, and prone to being lodged in the throat. Elderly people who have trouble swallowing, chewing, or have dry mouth are more likely to aspirate, which can result in pneumonia or other severe lung conditions. Mrs. Shoba from Ahmedabad had trouble swallowing and was recuperating from a small stroke. When she accidentally choked on pine nuts while adding them to her soup, her family was sufficiently alarmed to take them out of the kitchen. Advice: although pine nuts are not inherently dangerous, elderly persons should use them with extreme caution. Steer clear of them if you have trouble swallowing, take a lot of drugs, or have had weird tastes after eating nuts. How to identify and manage dangerous nuts in daily life. You may be asking yourself by now whether or not certain nuts are prohibited. How can I effectively include them into my routine? The solution is straightforward, yet effective. Don't mix the dangerous nuts with those you use every day. Instead, put them in a separate jar marked street jar. Don't use this jar every day. Use it only once or twice a week. Additionally, use a little katori rather than your hand or the entire packet when eating from it. This makes it easier for your stomach and brain to decide when enough is enough. Avoid all nuts, especially peanuts, cashews, and pine nuts. If you have a history of liver problems, kidney stones, poor digestion, or taking several medications, pay attention to your body. It's not your imagination if eating particular nuts makes you feel bloated, sleepy, or ill. Your body is attempting to communicate. And keep in mind that you're giving yourself greater energy, better sleep, and longer health in exchange for not giving up taste. Many elderly people feel bad about giving up foods they used to enjoy. However, knowledge is about making better decisions for where you are right now, not about clinging on. Elders reach for a handful of nuts in many Indian homes, believing that since they are healthful, more must be better. However, beyond 60, our bodies become more sensitive to quantity rather than just quality, and our digestion slows down. This is why it's so crucial to avoid eating straight from the package. Always place a little quantity of 5 to 10 nuts in a katori or dish. This easy practice keeps silent overconsumption from building up over time and helps your brains recognize how much you're eating. Drinking a glass of water after consuming nuts is also crucial, particularly during the winter months. Due to their dry and fibrous nature, nuts can produce bloating or a heavy feeling in the stomach if they are not balanced with fluids. Many elderly people silently experience bowel irregularities, but they never associate them with dry nibbles like almonds or peanuts. Avoiding combining too many types at once is another thing to keep in mind. Consuming more than 2 kinds of nuts at once might cause digestive confusion and overload, particularly if your kidneys or liver are already fragile. Additionally, wait at least an hour before or after lunch and dinner before eating nuts. Lastly, a complete meal cannot be replaced with dear elder nuts. They can supplement your diet rather than take the place of fruit, vegetables, or dal rice. Like seasoning, they are effective in tiny doses, but detrimental in large ones. Nuts can support your heart, brain, and bones if you eat them properly. However, they can subtly reverse the advantages if consumed recklessly. So let's pay attention to our bodies, eat with awareness, and let nature's gifts work for us. Many elderly people in India are attempting to take charge of their health these days, which is a very admirable thing. In the hopes that they may function as natural supplements, you might begin to include Brazil nuts, walnuts, or almonds in your diet. However, keep in mind that the body gets more sensitive after the age of 60, and even nutritious foods may act differently based on your medical problems. Before incorporating nuts into your regular diet, it is advisable to see your physician if you are already taking medication for diabetes, high blood pressure, or thyroid issues. Certain nuts may have an impact on how your body absorbs or processes medications. Take selenium, for instance. In Brazil, high-fat nuts may have an impact on blood pressure or blood sugar levels, and they can also alter thyroid medications. Additionally, exercise caution if you have a history of kidney stones, liver difficulties, or chronic sleep disorders. The substances in nuts are processed by the liver and kidneys, and even natural meals can put burden on the body when these organs are weak. After eating some nuts, some people experience bloating, restlessness, or discomfort, but they never realize why. Every time Mrs. Latha from Hyderabad ate cashews, she felt anxious. She didn't know it was her body talking too much and not her digestion until her doctor urged her to stop. Additionally, always check whether you have a nut allergy, experience frequent stomach ache, or want to use nuts as daily supplements because what works for one person might not work for another. Asking your doctor is a show of wisdom, not weakness, dear senior. You and your physician can work together to create a diet that will support your health in a safe, gentle, and confident way. We have therefore learned something very basic, yet extremely potent today. After the age of 60, even minor decisions can have a significant effect on your heart, bones, brain, and sleep. Not all nuts are created equal. Our bodies react with increased energy, improved sleep, and more clarity when we make informed decisions. But keep in mind, dear older, that it's always better to consult your doctor if you have any health conditions, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, thyroid problems, or kidney problems. Because every body is different, the best care is provided when professional guidance and self-awareness go hand in hand. The purpose of sharing these tips is to raise awareness. Before attempting anything new, make sure to consult your doctor if you are experiencing any health issues. I would now like to know what you found to be the most useful aspect of today's video. Type 1 in the comments section if you think this video was helpful. Just input 0 if you don't think it was quite perfect for you, though, so I can make improvements and provide you with better films in the future. Additionally, if you haven't already, kindly click the bell button, subscribe to our channel, and forward this video to a friend, cousin, or other loved one. Because occasionally, even a brief note like this might safeguard someone's health and provide them with more tranquil years to come. Stay well, remain inquisitive, and continue to appreciate your lovely physique till the next time.